Hey everyone, in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to paint hair from start to finish. Okay, so here is the photo I'm gonna work on. I'm gonna use this as my source on how to show you dimension and volume with hair. I'm gonna use both acrylic and oil. So in this part of my palette, I have acrylic, and on this part, I have oil. As you can see, it is very similar colors. Even though this hair is purple and maroon and red, I have a complement in there. So I have all the violets and then I have a yellow ochre. You don't want to, if you paint sort of monochromatically in only one color hue, it's gonna look cartoony. So you always gotta have a little bit of a complement in there. I'm just gonna go straight on the paper. This is nice heavy duty paper. It should be totally fine. And I'm gonna just begin by blocking in, and I'm just gonna start with a bit of a brown, and I'll just kind of get you know, some stuff down here. So I'm just kind of like blocking in very, you know, generally here. Okay, so now for a little more specifics of this actual shape. I'm gonna get this swoop in here. I'm gonna add the darks and then, you know, some highlights. And I'm just working in acrylic right now. So the main thing you wanna think about with hair is that you're looking for the general shapes. You're not looking to go right for those individual hair strands and get your left brain to derail you and just think hair is little strings of hair. So I need to paint strings and lots of strings. No, it's clumps, it's shapes. It's the way that the light is hitting the form, and you have dark shapes and light shapes and everything in between. You're looking for those nuances. Let me use a little bit of this glazing medium just to get things flowing a little better. Okay, so now I'm gonna move down to a little bit of a smaller brush and get a few of the highlights, again in acrylic. And if you're gonna start with acrylic, I think it's a good idea to sort of overdo it, because you'll see with the oil I'm gonna glaze. So I am using a bit of complement right now, and I'm just going to, you know, put some of those highlights in. And you want sort of a fluid movement like this. Again, it's blocking in the general shapes that I'm seeing. I'm not, you know, trying to paint individual hairs. So I think a big mistake people make is they get a little brush and then they want to just, you know, paint little hair. I'm going to show you at the very, very end for final highlights how you can do stuff like that. But for now, this is just, you know, the big shapes, blocking in. Okay, the real magic is gonna come in when we do the oil. The acrylic's just kind of like a preliminary thing to get in there. So now the fun part, oil. Now, if you don't use oil and you are an acrylic artist, then you can apply this to acrylic. You just would use glaze for your acrylic. Just replace what I'm doing with acrylic. But the warm, cool part that I'm gonna get to won't apply to you. Once you have your hair to this stage, we're gonna say it's blocked in, there's some highlights, there's some shadows, but it's clunky, it's not really that realistic, it's not rendered out, it's sort of in this stage. What do you do? If you go to the oil stage, this is when things will really come to life, because you are going to give it dimension with the warm and the cool. So the first thing you want to do is glaze. So transparent paint with a glazing medium. I'm using Galkid, and I'm going to start with my cools. So I have my cools over here, I have my warms over here, and I'm gonna begin with my dark, so this dark purple, and I'm gonna glaze all the things that I want to kind of recede back. So that is, you know, this under part here, where it goes under the crevice here in the part. There we go. This part right here is all cool. Cools under here. And this is really gonna give it that dimension that you want. So anything that you want to recede gets glazed cool. And this part of the hair is behind this part. This is gonna be very warm, it's in front. So I'm gonna glaze that a bit cool. Okay, now I'm gonna switch to a lighter, kind of more reddish tone for the glaze. Okay, now I'm gonna switch to warm and glaze with warm. Okay, so now we are going to add some brush strokes of highlights. So I'm going to use all these different colors so that I don't just have one, you know, sort of monochromatic, you know, color. So I'm gonna go warm. So this is all in the front. Putting a little ultramarine blue in there. So it's somewhat repeating what happened in the acrylic stage, but just using the warm and cool and the oil. Finding any kind of opportunity to throw that yellow in there, just so you do have that complement. Okay, so now what do we need most? We need some really, really strong highlights. And we want to use some tinier brushes for that, because this is where those individual hairs that you've been dying to put on here get to come and be seen. But you have this base, you have this general area of where it's gonna go. So I'm gonna, with this sword brush, this angled brush, I'm gonna make some small marks that sort of emulate these lines, these shapes that those highlights are making throughout here. And then with this script brush, I'm gonna get really, really much smaller lines and highlights. So that is my plan. And I'm using Gal Kid, so we have nice flowiness to it. I guess I need some ultramarine blue. These highlights are pretty blue looking. And as you can see, it's starting to look a little bit more like hair. And I'm holding my brush back here with a very light, swooping sort of, if I do this and I try to get it just right, it's not gonna have that fluidity that hair has. You know, the round part feels really round. So to get it fluid, you hold it back and you sort of just kind of get it in one motion like this. So you can't be afraid. And the best way to get that down is just practice. You know, just kind of get your sketchbook out. As you can see, if I held it here, I wouldn't get that fluidity. The fluidity comes by the brush acting, sort of carrying the energy that comes from your arm and your hand into the tip. Whenever our body sort of interrupts that by holding it too close, you lose the fluidity. So always remember that. If you want nice fluid brush strokes, you gotta be courageous and hold it back here, and you just sort of, you know, kind of flick it like this. Okay, and I'm gonna find a good excuse to throw some yellow in there because I don't want this to look cartoony and I need some complement. So I'm gonna put some yellow right in here. And because these highlights are the hairs that are on top, I'm doing this all with warm because they're the top hairs. what I'm doing now, these highlight parts, if you let what you did underneath the glaze and then adding the opaque into the glaze dry and set up, that way you're not working alla prima. It's gonna work okay. I'm doing fine, but it would just be easier and I would get cleaner brush strokes if I, wasn't sort of fighting wet paint here. If you can let it dry between layers, that'll be even better for you. Now over here, I'm gonna hit some highlights also where these curls are popping forward to give it sort of that dimension. And even though there isn't really a curl here, I can add one because, I can, right? So that's the fun thing about hair, is you can begin to make it up once you pick up the pattern. Okay, so now let's see what this little script brush does. Basically, it does what I was just doing, but even tighter, even more teeny tiny. Use lots of medium, so it's about the consistency of cream, and then you roll your script brush to a point. And again, you want to hold it in the back, not up here. And you should be able to get some nice thin lines. And this would be a really good place to, let it set up a little bit so that you're not fighting the wet paint. But as you can see, I'm able to influence it a little bit, even though it's wet. Now we've unlocked the secrets of hair. And the more time you spend on this, the more, dimension you put into it, the better results you're gonna get. And letting those layers kind of dry. You can also, at this stage, if you really wanted to, and you really wanted to get it to be just, amazing, is you could let this dry, go back in and glaze just a little bit. Like if I really wanted this front sort of swooping part to pop in front, I could glaze back just behind it a little bit right in here and just put a little bit of a cool glaze just to knock that back, and then come in with an even stronger, brighter highlight right in here to get that to come forward. So you can play with that push and pull all you want, and as curls come forward, like curls are really fun to do because as they come towards you, you hit it with the warm highlight. And as they move away from you, you hit it with the cool highlight. So curls are a lot of fun. Going in the proper order of your brushes, bigger brush strokes, bigger brushes for that blocking in part, and then your smaller brush strokes and smaller brushes with the script brush being last for those lines. Do not go in with one of the worst brushes to use on hair is a round brush. So this is a round brush. This is what most people go for because it has a point to it. But the hairs aren't long enough to give you a fluid line. This is good for dots or small little round brush strokes. But for lines, this is never going to get you a good line. That is a script brush or an angle brush or sword brush. Those are even a flat brush, a flat square brush will get you some nice lines versus that this round brush. So that's probably the biggest mistake people make, is when they want lines, is to go for the round brush. That is not gonna help you at all. You're gonna have clunky, messed up lines, and you'll think it's you. You'll think you're the problem. You are not the problem. Your brush is the problem. So use the right brush for the right purpose, and you'll see that you're no longer the problem. Okay, so hopefully that was really helpful and that got you a good idea on how you go about doing hair and the do's and don'ts to that, and can't wait to see all your hairdos.